lots of boats. Sounds like we're in a bird sanctuary. Good afternoon. Hello from the banks and the mouth of Lake Okeechobee. This is one of the largest freshwater lakes in the whole country that sits in Florida, in the middle of Florida, and some people call it the heart of Florida. Welcome to Clewiston, Florida, a little known town, but very important in the world actually. It's Sugar Land. Hello, Barbara. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Happy holidays. And welcome to beautiful Lake Okeechobee. Now this lake has something like 30,000 alligators in it. I don't see any alligators right now, but they're definitely in there. 730 miles. That's how big this lake is. And you know what the funny thing is? It's like average depth is 9 feet. 9 feet. I mean, you could literally, in some places, you could just walk around. And not that I would do that because alligators. Anyway, the other thing that this lake is famous for is largemouth bass fishing. And those of you who've been watching the Beach Report for a long time know that Jill doesn't fish, but she likes to watch people fish. Hey, Donna. Thank you. Good job, girlfriend. So there's a lot of boat action here. It's pretty cool. This is a beautiful day. The temperature is up in the upper 70s, and everybody's taking advantage of the blue skies and the weather. And there are no mosquitoes, bugs, or anything. It is just absolutely perfect. A lot of boats on this river. This is actually a river that goes into Lake Okeechobee, which is where these guys are coming from. Right there, you can see the lake. Well, trust me, it's out there. 730 miles of lake. Lake Okeechobee is very, very special. And you know, a lot of people come and visit the great state of Florida and they never ever get to see Lake Okeechobee. Unfortunately, yes, there are a lot of chemtrails in the sky today. Thanks for pointing that out. I did notice that earlier. It's very disappointing. You know, we thought that Florida had made chemtrails illegal, but turns out they just made it harder for people to do it. Like, you have to get permits and I don't know, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I am in this cute little town of Clewiston, which is actually the sugar capital of the world. It was originally founded in I guess, the early 19th century, or is that known as the 20th century? I don't know, like 1920 or something like that. And the whole lake is rimmed with this little like river that goes all the way around it. Northwood Village. Ooh, that sounds fun, Donna. I want to do that too. Sounds like a plan. Maybe. I also want to visit my sister, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, you can see these boats. They come in from the lake, and then they got to go into this little outlying river. There's like 2 rivers that everybody goes through. I believe this is a lock. Yeah, they'll go in there. They're like in a little tunnel. This is like kind of a tunnel, and then they'll come out the other side. I know, we gotta go to Lake O with your brother and ride one of these boats because it looks like so much fun. I see boats everywhere, and I also see the evidence that this place is a great place for fishing, especially largemouth bass. That is like the big thing here. They're all about the largemouth bass. And apparently people come from all over the world to fish in this amazing lake that really nobody's ever even heard of. Don't they have a sign? There's no sign, Donna. I don't see the signs for me to read. I love how everywhere I go, all over the United States, there are historical markers. That's what Donna's talking about, where it gives a little bit of a history of the area that you're in. But I do not see one right here. I'm sure there's something in town in Clewiston, but Clewiston is a very interesting little city. It is actually a city, and I am within city limits right now, standing on the banks of Lake Okeechobee. And you can see right in front of me, there is a trailer park. And not a trailer park like where people actually live in the trailer park, but a trailer park for the fishermen. And these are all vacation places. This is a very, very busy little town when it comes to the fishing industry. And the people who live here, a lot of them are Cuban and Spanish. Hi, Sherry. Hey, Catherine. I know, this is one of my favorite hats. And how do I know so much about the little town of Clewiston? Because I actually used to live here. I lived here for almost 2 years, but not in the city of Clewiston. My address was Clewiston, but I lived on a farm outside of this little town, maybe about 10, 20 miles away. And it was on the edge of a sugarcane field. So this is the home of the sugar industry. They call it the sweetest town because it's all about sugar, and sometimes it smells really, really bad. I'm just gonna say the production of sugarcane, refining it, which is what they do in the little town of Clewiston and all around it, it is stinky business. It's dirty, but this town survives on the production of sugar. Maybe this is the year that I will go to their sugar festival. They have a lot of little festivals here in Clewiston. But again, it is kind of like being in another world because most of the people here speak Spanish. Where have all the gators gone? I don't see any alligators. And they're in there. There's a lot of gators in Lake Okeechobee. It's kind of known for that. But if you're gonna come here, this is definitely the time, the season that you want to be here. And when it comes to alligators, I believe this is also a good season because the alligators aren't mating or anything. They're just kind of getting ready for winter time, which is when they hole up in their gator holes and try to get prepared for the winter. find a good place to kind of hibernate. It can get kind of chilly here in the wintertime. I remember when I lived here, there were days, oh my gosh, it got so cold and we didn't have any heat in our farmhouse. We were actually peacock farmers. That's right, we were raising peacocks. Yes, this weather is just the best right now. Especially if you're gonna come to Lake Okeechobee, because in the summer, it's brutal here, and the bugs are so bad. Like, you go out and you can't take much more than 5 or 10 minutes being outside, but today it's just pretty much perfect. I keep seeing the water kind of dip down, like there's an alligator lurking underneath. Like right over here. I don't know if you can see this. I think there's an alligator that just went under here. You know, they submerge themselves, and they can stay submerged hours, if not days. They do. I keep seeing lots of little areas like that. But if there's an alligator in the water, is you'll actually see its little head. Little head. Some of them are very big. Here we've got some wildlife. Look at this little guy. They're everywhere. I know, I love that Elton John tribute band. Oh crap, there's bugs all over my feet. Oh man, sorry about that. Sorry, that's another thing. You do have to be very careful wherever you stand and walk. You just never know. Oh lordy. Look at that. There's ants all over my shoe. That's just nasty. I cannot even. Yep. I don't miss it living here. I do not. Because if you don't like bugs, you can't live here. I'm just saying. Like, look at this. Ugh. And I think they're red ants, and they bite. So, you know what? They've bitten me enough. I just don't care. Yeah, the good shoes, Donna. The good shoes. I'm just like leaving it there. I don't even want to deal with it. I'm going up here. I'll retrieve it later and put it in a bag or something. Oh my. It's always something. I do believe a red ant just bit me on the foot. But I'm going to smile and grin and bear it because that's what I do. I've been put through the ringer here in Clewiston. Oh my. The was like, it was kind of terrible, especially living here and to a dying man, which is my husband. But being with him was amazing. It was a lot. Keep looking down at my foot because it hurts a little bit. But you know what? I've been through way worse. way worse, especially here in Clewiston. I remember walking around the farm thinking that I was so hot that I was melting, like for real melting. And there's my girl Gloria. And Gloria, oh, every time I see Gloria, I'm also reminded of that time in Clewiston when I got the most amazing care package from Gloria Fletcher right here. You see her. And I'll never forget it. All right, you guys, tell me, is this better? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello. Let me know. It's no good out here in Lake Okeechobee. Okay, thank you, Donna. If Donna can see me, it's all good. Anyway, it's been a day for me anyway, thinking whenever I come through here and I think about my husband, and thank you, good Gloria. And we used to come to this exact spot because I always wanted to see the gators. I keep looking at my foot. It's starting to hurt pretty bad. I'm gonna have to put something on that. Woo, you got me good. Anyway, I'm going to keep moving here. I'm going to be like dancing on the ground because of the red ants. Ah, it's so awful. Anyhow, finding joy during the holidays when you're in grief. And it has been, oh, alcohol wipe. Yeah, you have them all, Donna. I don't have any more. I'm out of them. Thank you, William. I'm not here looking for a date though, so just enjoy the view. I'm dancing here. A red ant got me on the foot. But it's funny, I don't see any welts yet. But I sure do feel it. Anyway, I'm dancing around. I got my shoes on the ground. It's what we do out here in the swamp. We just deal with these things. You know, the worst has happened to me time and again. So really, it's getting bit on the foot by a red ant is not the worst thing that could happen. It's okay. I will survive. First I was afraid. I was petrified. Kept thinking if a red ant bit me, I would surely die. But then I spent so many nights tending to those ant welts, and I grew strong. And I learned how to get along, and now I'm back in Clewiston. I just walked in to find the red ants tracking on my shoes. I should have changed those stupid shoes. I should have worn something on my feet. But I'm not that smart. Yes, I'm a swamp woman, you know it. No, I'm really not anymore. Oh my gosh, you know, when I lived here, you guys remember how I used to dress? My daughter called me Safari Sam. And this hat is reminiscent of my Safari Sam days, but it's a lot more stylish than the hats I used to wear. Oh, it's been a hot minute. Anyway, I know many of you have not been following me for the 10 years, like people like Gloria and who else? Who else is on who's been following? Well, Donna, of course. Anyway, I've been through a lot, and you know, I lost my husband. Well, you don't know, maybe. I lost my husband 3 years ago. And please be respectful. I'm not out here trying to get dates or impress men, even a little bit. I never want to get married again. I don't date. I'm not interested. Hi, Laura. I'm just here trying to show you the beauty of Florida and to talk about grief, because a lot of us are dealing with it, you know, especially during the holidays. And you're missing those you love. And this year is absolutely harder than ever because I lost my dog last year. William has a radio station in Cape Cod. And thank you for saying that. And it's going to be snowing in Massachusetts. And you'll be freezing. Well, sorry. I used to know, actually. It was one of my favorite things to do. That sounds so weird. But I just got great solace in taking a snowy driveway and to a place that I could park my car. It's so satisfying to get all that snow off the driveway. I don't know. I always enjoyed it. Oh, William's wife passed away 2 years ago. Okay, William, I'm so sorry. But you know where I'm coming from, right? I don't know about you, but I don't need to replace my husband. He is always with me. And that's why I do things like come to Lake Okeechobee and get bit by red ants, because it reminds me of Ray, honestly. And everything that I can do that reminds me of the short time I had with my amazing husband is time well spent. So I don't really enjoy the holiday parties because he's not with me. I tolerate them. I don't love to party anymore, you know, like just I don't have that feeling of woohoo. I can't really drink anymore because I'm old. And I find that I don't handle it well, so. But it's okay. So I do things like I come to places that I used to spend with him. So sorry to all who have lost loved ones. It's so hard. It is so hard. You too, William. You too. Always enjoy what you're doing, especially. See if somebody has a beer. I heard a fisherman pour beer on red ant bites and it goes away. Oh, I could use some beer on my foot right now. I don't drink beer anymore either, though. And German ham sounds delicious, Justin. Man, I love ham. Gloria says, I miss my parents. I lost both of them in the year 2002, 2003. They both went in December. I lost my boxer last year. It is so hard. It is so hard. And I have to tell you, and I know this might sound crazy to people who are not pet lovers and don't have pets, but you know, even at my lowest times, I lost both of my parents around the same time, Gloria. I lost my dad in 2003, I believe it was, and I lost my mom in 2013. And then my 3 years ago, 2022. And through it all, I had my little dog Muffin. Now, losing her last year has sent me on a trajectory tailspin where I am just like, what is happening? It's very difficult to go through the holidays alone, like really alone. I used to be sad that I didn't have my husband, but it was at least comforted by my dog. And now I don't have her anymore. So thank you, William, too. You too. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And get through the holidays the best way you can. And know that your wife is always with you. I do feel Ray's presence always with me. What is a German ham? Yeah, I don't know. Do the pigs come from Germany? I don't know. It's a good question, Barbara. You gotta wonder. Like, what's the difference between a German ham and an American ham? Maybe it's the way that it's made. I don't know. They do have a Black Forest ham. There's a real thing. So I guess there really is such thing as German. And I will tell you a funny story about the forest. Another place where I used to live. It's a different pig. Okay, thank you, Laura. Preparation. That sounds like about right. But so the Black Forest is in Germany, right? And then near to Switzerland, right behind, let's see, well, the Alsace region of France, which is very kind of Germanized. They call it Schwarzbubenland, translated directly. So anyway, I'm living on the edge of Schwarzbubenland and the Black Forest, in other words. And I am a stay-at-home mom. And every day, I'm hearing this cuckoo clock go off for like hours, like cuckoo, 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 and not stopping. So I say to my husband, now my ex-husband, and I say to him, somebody's got a broken cuckoo clock. It is driving me nuts. And he's like, what do you mean? I said that I keep hearing their clock and it's like, cuckoo, cuckoo. And I make, the cuckoo noise. And he just looks at me and he goes, that's a bird. I'm like, really? That's a real bird? It turns out when you see a cuckoo clock and a little bird comes out and goes, cuckoo, cuckoo, that's what they look. It's a real bird. He's like, yeah, we live on the edge of Schwarzbubenland. That's where the cuckoo birds live. So, yes, it's so beautiful. Switzerland. Oh, I don't need to visit Switzerland. I lived there for 10 years. I actually became a Swiss citizen, so I've had plenty of Switzerland in my life. Juno, I keep looking at your name, Donna, and I just see Juno. I get so confused. Anyway, it's a pig. Okay. Gloria says, at Christmas, my grandma was from Germany. She would make a goose with apple raisin dressing. Oh, here's some other cool facts about geese, or at least about making goose liver pate. which is delicious, by the way. Now, me living on the edge of the Black Forest in Schwarzbübeland in the Alsace region of France, in France, in the Alsace, they were known for their amazing goose pate. And then it turns out that they were force feeding the geese, like right down their little gullets, and it looked really mean. And so I think they got banned from being allowed to do that. But anyway, that's how they do it. They force feed them. Jo, ich kann Schweizerdeutsch sprechen. I try to speak a mixture of High German and Schweizerdeutsch because, as you know, most people don't understand Schweizerdeutsch. Yeah, it's super gross, but I could tell you many stories about this. But here we are in Clewiston, Florida, which I never ever imagined that I ever would live here in such a place after all of my adventures throughout the United States and into Switzerland and so much life. And then boom, I landing in a peacock farm in Clewiston, Florida. It was just crazy. Then again, in Switzerland, there were a lot of cows. Cows everywhere. Oh my gosh. Hello, Clint. How you doing? How is everybody doing? So I did want to talk about grief and trying to find joy during the holidays. Yes, so Green Acres, you know, Donna, that's been my life. And my best friend and I do call each other Gabor. So there's that. And that started when we were 12. So there's that. Okay, Joe wants to see where we are. Well, we are here on the banks of Lake Okeechobee. You notice that I got one shoe there and I got one shoe over here because I was standing in the grass, forgetting that you can't just stand in the grass in places like this because you will get attacked by red ants, which I was. I know, right, Joe? Thank you for reminding me where I am. I'm just like blah, blah, blah to you guys. And here I am on the edge of Lake Okeechobee. So what you see here is like the mouth of a river, but it's still a river, Okeechobee, that goes into the largest freshwater lake in the contiguous United States. Lake Okeechobee is 730 miles of pristine, beautiful lake, and hardly anybody lives around here. It's really pretty unpopulated when it comes to Florida. I'm so glad you're here, Clint. That's a great comment. And I love it that the Beach Report does make people's lives better. I know for a fact that it does. I've been doing this for 10 years and you're not the first one to say that. The other cool thing about this lake is that it is home to tens of thousands of American alligators and maybe some crocodiles, but definitely American alligators. They are plentiful here. And they are definitely in this water as we speak. We just can't see them. And it's a little bit choppy water. So, Jesus loves you, Renee. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to today's Beach Report here on the lake of Great Lake Okeechobee. We're in the little town of Clewiston, which is known for two things: sugar production and big mouth bass fishing. Oh, I'm so glad, you guys. Hey, West Palm Beach at Chipingas, I'm going to be there later today. Bonjour, Arrow. I don't understand what the rest of what you said was, but I'm thinking you speak French. Yes, Magoo, you know what? That's funny that you should say that. Maybe alligators like people for lunch, but here in Florida, we eat alligators for lunch. So I'm not that afraid of them. I'm thinking they should be afraid of me because guess what? I've eaten alligators and they have never eaten me. So Jill won, alligator nothing. But I'm not going to like go right there looking for them, so don't worry. Oh, bowl of water. Yeah, so we eat more alligators than they eat us. And as my husband used to say, alligators don't want to eat people. If they did, they'd do it every day, and you'd hear about it all the time. Okay, I'm gonna go check on my shoe quickly. Wait, maybe I can just zoom in it because I don't want to touch with the red ants on it. I don't know, it looks okay. What do you guys think? Do you see any creepy crawlies on my shoe now? 75 in Houston, woo! It is warm on Lake Okeechobee. I think it's about 79 degrees here today. All right, I'm gonna go retrieve my shoe and put it next to the other one because I don't think ants on the road, just here. Like, oh no, they're still there. I don't know. Get off my shoe. Yeah. All right, at least they're together now. 77, maybe it's 77 here now too. I haven't looked since I got here, and it was 79. But it is so beautiful. Today is gorgeous. There's a lot of birds out. I believe it's because this is a time for migration, and all of the winter birds are coming down here for the summer. And then, of course, we've got the fishermen. They regularly come out of this little area. I keep seeing them pop out. Yeah, Donna, you got to have your brother take us on a boating trip one of these days. I've never done that. My husband used to be an airboat operator, but, ooh, I think I see a gator right there. Check it out. I swear I just saw the top of his head and then he went down. Maybe because that boat's coming. You don't want to run over a gator with your boat. They can really take that badly. I've seen some pretty harrowing videos of people and gators. See if he runs over that gator that I just saw. Don't do it. Nice boat. That looks like fun. And, you know, it's funny because this lake, it's so big. I mean, 730 miles, and it's really only about 9 feet at its deepest. Like, there's a very shallow lake, Okeechobee. And Okeechobee, it feeds into the Everglades. The Everglades are actually the water filtration system for South Florida, and the water comes from right here. Hey, Justin, what you trolling for? Trolling for compliments? Trolling for fish? There's a lot of fish in here. Big mouth bass. You know, my foot doesn't hurt so much anymore. I don't know. Sometimes when you ignore the pain, it does go away. I don't see any gators hanging out. But we know they're in there. Look, everybody's fishing today. Magoo, my husband was one of the bravest men I ever met in a lot of ways. He was also very chicken. He was afraid of the silliest things, and yet he could wrestle alligators and catch birds out of the sky. Yes, actually, it's funny that you should mention Swamp People, Justin, because my husband was the producer of that show. It's funny, both of us used to work for MTV Network, so we didn't know each other. But Ray was one of the producers of the, I believe it was called The Swamp People. And also Jackass. My husband worked on Jackass. He was pretty famous. He was Cuban. And actually, one of my followers on Facebook recently showed me that she was watching a video of my Ray. He was an animal expert on a famous show, a famous Spanish show called Caso Cerrado. And Ray was always on that show. And it's funny that I should get, what was it? No, I got bit by ants. But on that show, she told me that Ray was explaining about the different kinds of bees that there are. But yes, he was 1 in a million, and I miss him like crazy. So that's why I come to places like this. You know, I never have been exposed to anything like swamp people and stuff like that. Although it is really kind of weird, because when I was a teenager, and in my second book that I published last year called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday, I detail the fact that people used to call me the swamp fox. I was the fox that lived in the swamp because my bedroom was so messy. It's funny, but now I really eventually did live in the swamp. So it's funny how life works like that. A lot of weird things. And then the other thing, like I said, my best friend and I called each other the Gabor sisters. And I definitely lived the Green Acres life with my husband. I'm writing a book about him, so one of these days it'll be a lot easier for you guys to understand what we went through. And yeah, I've become a publisher. Did I mention that? I'm publishing books. I just published my second book. I'm sorry, it's actually my fourth book, but it's the second book that I published for somebody who wasn't me. So I am a verified boutique book publisher, and it's really cool. And I'm like getting new clients every day. I've got more book projects than I can shake a stick at. So that's why I had to disappear for the past few days, was because I had to get this book finished. And the woman who wrote the book, actually, her name is Sathy, like Kathy, but with an S. And it is called As If. And the book is about heartbreak. So maybe that's another reason why I'm feeling kind of low, because reading all of this about being heartbroken and having the love of your life leave you, and in the book, it's a living person who left her, but in reality, my husband died. So I was left too, but in a different way. However, he is always with me, and now I see a bird. Like, I feel like this bird came to say hi, because that's a vulture. That was one of my husband's favorite birds. He loved the vultures. He told me that these birds are the cleanest birds you will ever meet, and that they are like the janitors of the world. They eat all the dirty stuff, but they're super clean themselves, and they're very, very important. And thank you, Magoo. And they are all over this area of Florida. You see vultures everywhere. All sorts of birds, actually. And they used to call my husband the bird man, because he knew about all the birds. He was a bird expert. He was a verified falconer, so I know, I can't stop talking about him. It's funny because people are like, you should date. And I'm like, who would want to date me? I talk about my husband nonstop. I don't know. If I was dating somebody, I would not want to hear about their dead husband nonstop. But I don't put anybody through that. I don't think it's right. And I'll never get over my love for Ray. So I don't date. I don't want anybody to think that I can replace him. I cannot. And I don't even want to try. But I will say that I have the most amazing friends. And every day I'm amazed at what a wonderful life you can have when people love you. It just makes everything better. Even though I don't have the love of my husband in my life, my parents are gone. I still have my brother and sister, though, and I do have a very good life, my children. So count your blessings. This is another way to get through holidays when you're going through grief, is that it is very important to remind yourself, and you see me doing it kind of reflexively, is that every time I'm like, I miss Ray so much. And then I have to kick myself and say, Oh, but your daughter's coming to see you in a couple of days, and you've got your best friend, and you can go anywhere you want. You can do anything you want. You don't have to worry about the welfare of these people and my dog. You know, I miss her like crazy, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I can come out here and do this show, and I don't have to be worried about Muffin, who would now be wanting to walk around and definitely sniff at those red ants and all that stuff. I don't know. It's so much caring for somebody else to really be a caregiver. And then to have nobody to care about it's jarring. It's weird. But a grief is half a grief, a joy is twice a joy. Wait, a grief is half a grief. A grief is half a grief. A joy is twice a joy. I like that, Magoo. Thank you. Thank you so much. The other thing about my show, The Beach Report, is that I do encourage us to work together. You know, there are many of us who have lost loved ones like I have. Or maybe you are dealing with a sick spouse or parent or even a child. Unfortunately, too many have lost children, and that is not something I have had to deal with in my life. And I'm grateful because those of you who have lost children, it's just unimaginable the pain that you must have. But thank you, Gloria, for saying that. I'm glad I talk about him too. I kind of can't stop. So, you know, and like I said, I don't want to replace him. I want him with me, and the best way to have him with me is to talk about him a lot and to go to places that I used to go to with him. Welcome back, Donna. Oh, thank you so much, Nelda. That's a sweet thing to say. Can you give us John 3:16, Magoo? I'd appreciate that. I'd love to read it. Anyway, grief doesn't always mean sadness. I mean, you can't help but be in grief when you're missing somebody who is your whole world. But I'm not sad about it anymore. And I'm not sad about not having to worry about him. And Magoo is 82 and alone. I know the deal. Yeah. However, I do think that we can all work together to lessen our grief and to find joy in our experiences with one another. And that is why the Beach Report is always somewhere very beautiful. I want you to see the beauty of the world. I want you to realize that there is so much out there, and if you can't see it from where you are, I will take you there, because I believe in sharing, because sharing is caring. You know, Donna, I also love being alone, and I think that's a sign of a person who mentally is very comfortable with themselves, and that's a great gift. You know, for some people, they would rather be with a person who makes them feel badly than be alone. And that used to be me. I used to choose the worst people to be around. And throughout my life, I started to learn that, you know, sometimes you're better off by yourself than you are with somebody who's making you feel horrible. A KJV Bible. I can't get a Bible, Magoo. I'm doing a live show here. So if you don't want to put it on, that's fine. But I do like to read the Bible on my show. And sometimes it's just a little easier if my followers would just put those words up for me. So, but you don't have to do that. If Annie Zafiros was here, she would do it. I have some of my people who always put up prayers and biblical verses, and I do love that. I do love God, and I do love the Bible, and that's another thing that gets me through the grief of the holidays, is that I do believe that God has a plan for me, and I am here left alone without my loved ones, my parents, my husband, for a reason. And whatever that reason is, He knows, and I do what he wants. I have faith. Here's something else I want to say about faith. I was listening to something, people like to hear The Secret, or these manifestation things, where they listen to somebody say you have to believe it to become it and all this stuff, and you can manifest anything you want in your life. Now, thank you, Gloria. He was. And that's it. Donna just said it before I got a chance. Manifestation. I just realized it the other day, but it's nothing more than faith. And they say that you can make things happen, but it isn't you. It's the Lord. That's right. Magoo knows it too. God will help you, but you have to ask. And you have to know where it's coming from. I think that if you're manifesting things and believing that you are something that you hope to be, but you're not yet that thing, like I wanted to be a publisher. Or when I was younger, wanted to be a writer. All the things that I am now, all of the things that I wanted to be. But I didn't ever look at it like, I knew that I had to help make them happen, but I asked God. I asked God for the help. I said, Lord, if you want me to be a writer, then help me live a life worth writing about. Show me the way to go. Acts 2:38. Put it on, Pilate. Put it on. I don't know all of these Bible verses. I'm sorry. I was raised Jewish, and I didn't accept Jesus as my Lord and Savior until 2018. So, and I've got a great memory, but if I don't know it, I can't say it. I might be able to sing it, but because I know the words to every song I've ever heard. Anyway, thank you, Magoo. I hope that we should all pray for and with each other. So, dear Lord, I hope that everybody who's watching this show right now gets everything that they want in life and learns that the manifestation of the heart comes through the Lord, and that He's the one who can help you when you are troubled. You really do just have to ask. It's all over the Bible. Ask and you shall receive. And I barely have to lift a finger anymore to ask for what I want, and it's handed to me in like minutes. It's so weird. But that's what manifestation is. It's faith. It's faith in the knowledge that if you want something, it can be yours. But you do have to go through the Lord to get it. Oh, thank you, Gloria. God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. Whosoever believes in Him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:17. Thank you, darling. That's beautiful. Pilate says, repent and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ for the remission of your sins, and you shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. I've actually been baptized 3 times now. It's kind of like, how some people get addicted to getting tattoos. I don't have any tattoos, but I'm a little bit addicted to getting baptized. I don't know. It just feels really good. It's like a cleansing thing. It's also the reason that I fast. And I love that feeling of having nothing inside me but God's love. Well, I think the ants have left my shoes. And I'm going to drive over to the East Coast, Donna. So I will see you soon. And, Willard, we're not talking about stuff like that. Try to be an adult and stick to the subject, okay? Sometimes you think that the pleasures of the body are just so juvenile in a lot of ways. You must be born again of the water and of the Spirit. Beautiful. Hi, Janice. I am not in Fort Myers. I am in Clewiston, Florida. I'm right here on the shores of Lake Okeechobee. I love being born again. It's such a beautiful feeling. And it's such a beautiful feeling to give your life up to Christ and to have faith in Him. And to know that There are answers for you if you are troubled, if you need help, if you want something. He has the key. He has all the answers. I'm living proof of that. I literally live and walk in faith. I don't make plans anymore. I mean, loosely I do, and the Lord does with me what he wants. So, Pilate, I was raised Jewish, but yes, I do believe that Jesus is God. It took me a long time to figure it out. I was, like any Jew, we're not told about Jesus. We are made to believe that he's nothing and nobody. You also have to thank for the blessings he blesses us with. Better believe that, Gloria. Of course, I voted for Trump. I'm not stupid. Yes, I watched President Trump be consecrated by God when they tried to kill him. And you know what? That's another thing that I've learned, is that there are some people on this earth, and I'm one of them, completely protected by angels. Can't tell you how many times I have been this close to death. And I don't mean in a sick way or where I was like, I'm gonna die. I didn't even realize it. Like, this close to being hit by a car, going through an intersection where I should have been pulverized. And I got through it like nothing. Stuck on a Swiss Alp in the dark with my child and ex-husband on the top of a ski slope with nobody around. And I said this phrase. Don't ask me how this even happened. I said, a little light would be good just about now. And honestly, 3 people with lights on their heads showed up from out of nowhere and got us down that mountain and then left. And I never saw them again. Oh, Pilate, a staple gun, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, we'll pray for you for that. Yes, the great white hope. Great Couch King. And I also love what President Trump is doing for my country and in washing away the scourge. So we can no longer live with knowing that there's this danger of people that the last administration just let into our country who hate our guts and want to kill us. They're all over the place, so there's that. Anyway, I'm really glad that President Trump is getting them out. I'm glad that we're learning about Minnesota and what they were doing to our country. And I'm glad that you're in South Africa. Stay where you are, please. I believe it, Pilate. In Butler, Pennsylvania, I saw that man said, speaking of guardian angels, how else do you think he survived that? They literally tried to kill him. They nicked his ear. I mean, that right there, if you didn't have faith before that right there was amazing. God saved me April 10th, 2015. That through so many blood clots, they couldn't even count them. The doctor said I should have died, and I lived through God. So many people have these stories. This is really true. Hi, Addie. Trump is not just normal. Trump is sane. Trump doesn't hate our country. Trump loves this country. He's invested in it. He's got children and grandchildren and a beautiful family at that. And he wants it to be good. That Bible verse, John 3:16. Give it to me, Gloria. And that's right, they're only men and women. I mean, seriously, the last 4 years was a clown show where they tried to lead us down this path of true insanity and told us that we had to go along with it or we were haters. It's crazy, right? So yes, I'm so proud of my fellow Americans for putting President Trump back in the White House where he belongs. And yeah, and the Epstein stuff, you know what? It is all a kind of a, what do they call it? A psychological operation to mess with all of us. We absolutely needed Trump. We needed him in 2016. And that's why they stole the election in 2020. And they absolutely stole it. Those people that they elected, Joe Biden, I don't even think he's a real person, honestly. Him and his auto pen was crazy. God bless Donald Trump. I wish he could run in 2028. Well, I hope that somebody with his same vision can take his place. They're not going to destroy their life over it. I don't know. Gloria, you tried to fast for 2 days. Good for you. How did it go? You said tried. Does that mean you didn't do it? You gave up? Yeah. Hey, William. I'm glad you're a Trumper. I think Max Headroom. He looked like Max Headroom. You're not wrong. Yeah. Oh, you did do it. How do you feel? You feel awesome, right? You did a lot of good stuff for yourself in fasting. We live in a world of lies and subterfuge, and really it's time that we all started to trust ourselves. God and my travel buddy roommate, saved my life. Had severe COVID in 2023 in Europe on vacation. I thought I could have died. Wow. Couch King says, I agree, Jill, and God bless you as well. And I love what your channel is about. Well, I'm so glad you're here. And you know what? That's another thing about my channel. There is no channel like the Beach Report anywhere in the universe. And I can guarantee that because I'm the only one that does this. But you know, I've got a lot of, I don't know what we call them, entities or whatever. I can help you make your channel better. You should do this and you should do that. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just going to be me. I've been doing this for 10 years. And the way that I get people to follow me is to be myself. So I'm not going to change. I'm not going to do anything differently. If I can do things better, I will figure out how to do that. But I'm not doing things I'm sorry, I'm looking over here because I'm seeing a lot of action in the water. I think, I don't know if that's an alligator, but it could be a turtle. I don't know. Let's see what we can find. But I do love to commune with nature, be in places where Ray taught me about wildlife and living in the swamp. There. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that thing in the water? What is that? Is that a gator? See it? I think it might be a turtle. It's something. Aw, Couch King, thank you for saying that, but it is sad. Yeah, Gloria, I am super proud of you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got ourselves like a gator over there. We're a little far away though. They're spraying the poison again because someone's paying them. Okay, Laura. Yeah, I know. They're out to get us. But that gator that you see, that's a wild gator. And there's a boat just sitting there. I'm not sure if they're sitting there because of the gator. Don't worry, Magoo. That gator's really far away and it's not going to come up here. But it might it might be checking out that boat. Yeah, it is a long gator. You're right. It's pretty big. I'm going to walk over there for you guys. I'm going to pick up my anthill shoes that don't have any more ants on them. So hooray for that. I'm still in my bare feet though. Not the smartest thing to do in Cluse, in land of big bugs. But let's go see. All right, you guys. And hurt my my feed, so if I lose you, it'll be because I'm moving. But all right, can you guys still hear me and see me? Looks like I had to go through a bit of a dead spot. Oh, they're fishing. Do they know there's a gator following them while they're fishing? It could be a problemo. Thank you, Donna. See if they catch. Maybe they're catching a big bass. And that critter in the water seems to be gone. I don't know. They better get moving. I don't know. Look how beautiful that is. Look how that gorgeous. All right, Gloria. God bless you too, my friend. Love you. This is just something you don't